But we are convinced, for example, that the members of the governing body have the heavenly calling. After all, Jehovah has blessed them. They fulfill Bible prophecy about the faithful and discreet slave. There are certain things that we acquire knowledge about and we're convinced of. We see Jehovah's favor on them. We have no doubt that Jehovah's blessing is upon their efforts to take care of the domestics and provide spiritual food for all of us.
If a Jehovah's Witness from 100 years ago was to start teaching in a kingdom hall today, he would most likely be yanked from the platform pretty quickly. The fact is, Watchtower doctrine of a century ago does not agree with today's teaching in many areas. That alone disqualifies them from being the truth. God said, in Malachi 3 verse 6, "I am the Lord, I change not." Watchtower doctrine is largely man-made, with a pinch of God's word thrown in. The teaching of men will necessarily change, as error is discovered, and predictions go unfulfilled. The Watchtower governing body claim to be feeding the sheep on behalf of Jesus. They use the end of Matthew 24 ad nauseam as proof of their being chosen by Christ as leaders of the flock. However, in verse 45, Jesus is not delegating authority to anybody. He is asking a question. The verse reads, "Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season?" The governing body can by no means claim this position, because they are neither faithful or wise, and the meat they serve is rotten. This confused Jehovah's Witness brother claims that the governing body is heaven-bound. And I must say that he looked a bit miffed after he mentioned it. And why shouldn't he be? Watchtower's two-destination teaching of the sheep is unbiblical nonsense, and does nothing but lead to bitterness and jealousy. It's all part of the rotten meat being fed to witnesses. If the Watchtower leaders want to claim that the passage in Matthew 24 is all about them, then they had better read on from verses 48 to 51, where it says, "But and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth." That portion definitely sounds like the Watchtower governing body. They'd better not count too much on those tickets to heaven.